Welcome to Enlightened AF. He's already busting my balls about something. I can't even hear him as it's starting.
Like a Siberian husky jacket.
But that's a dog. I'm Tricia Carr.
And I'm Aidan Demarest. And I'm outraged by her parka.
It's great. Well,
show them. It is 70, 69, 70 outside.
High. It was a high of 70.
Thank God you were bundled up with a scarf and a giant jacket.
I do have a scarf on, and this is my coat.
Outside.
But it's kind of cute, isn't it?
I'm in my pajamas.
I'm in my pajamas everywhere else. I almost came here with no shoes on. I seriously was sitting, I was halfway here, driving here, and I was like, oh, I don't have any shoes on. And then I'm like, I'm deep into being a hippie now. But I had some shoes in. Same. I had some shoes in the back seat, and now they're off again. So it was for that 12 feet.
Are we going shoeless? Should we sit in like lotus and like?
I have rainbows on my feet.
You want to see mine?
We're gonna. This is a fantastic episode. We're sharing our socks to the.
What?
See, you've got to watch the show too.
Boom,
can you see? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Look.
I never wear
Could you see Aidan's
socks either?
Okay.
I never wear colorful socks.
That's funny. We're both wearing rainbow socks.
Namaste.
But you know what? I think it really suits what we want to talk about today.
Ah, yes, it does.
Because we want to talk about butterflies.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, seriously.
We had the March of the Monarchs through.
They aren't monarchs, actually. They look like monarchs. They're called painted ladies.
Oh, okay.
So
I've
to
had
catch
that
you
march before.
You've been that march.
In New Orleans.
You've been that march. That was the bar that you managed last year in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the name of it?
Well, there was that one.
And you had to get in shape to be the manager?
Yeah.
Because it was a gay bar is what I'm saying.
Yes. Right? And there was a lot of drag over there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was talking about New Orleans, although that's like.
Speaking of painted ladies in drag, did you just get your eyelashes done? Because they look nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, they look like you.
I got
was
some
last
sleep.
Week? Oh.
Yeah.
Make sure eyelashes look darker.
I got some sleep, but yeah, usually.
Oh, there you go. Kurt's showing the picture. I think I actually used that one for my blog, that literal picture, that image that Kurt is putting up of the painted lady. Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks ago, Aidan and I... Well, a couple of weeks ago, Aidan and I were complaining about how cold and rainy it was.
We have had a very cold, dark-ish winter.
Yeah, and I recognize that we are complete... I'm just going to say it, pussies for saying that, generally speaking.
Yes.
However, people that live in proper cold, even like when they get into the negatives and everything, when the high is like 45, that means the high. That means most of the day it was in the 30s and 40s. That's properly cold. That's too cold for people. And we had some of those days.
We did. And it's also, I can say this because I'm from Boston. I'm from proper cold.
Yeah.
And it is cold, I think because of the humidity, the lack thereof here. When it gets cold here, like 30, 40, 50, it feels like 10, 20, 30 back east.
And I should say for those of you, scores of listeners, if you're new, here is Los Angeles. We are broadcasting live from Los Angeles. Before we get on with our complaints about the weather, actually, we're going to celebrate it today, though, and tie it into...
Yeah, because it was a good conversation.
Well, because actually, I think it was the whole country, too, because my friend in New York and I were chatting today, and she,
They are cold.
No, she said, I can't believe it. All the snow just melted. I'm sitting on my porch for the first time. That's Stephanie C. Weinman. Hi, Stephanie.
Not our sponsor, but I'm drinking it anyway.
Oh, yeah. San Pellegrino. Water. But we'll take your dollars, San Pellegrino. Yeah.
Ciao.
So, but I think it's really, we've turned a corner across at least the U.S. I'm sure parts of Canada, although in Arizona, weirdly enough, I think it's still snowing in some parts, like in Flagstaff and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was just up in Ojai. Did you see that?
No.
I was up in Ojai this weekend.
I don't think I follow
They didn't cover that. You don't follow me?
I'm sure I do.
She follows me everywhere.
But no, Facebook was down yesterday. We had a big Facebook.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
I don't follow anybody else. Like,
you just follow yourself.
In life, I just talk and I don't listen.
Yeah, yeah.
I was up in Ojai and it was, anyway.
Who'd you go to Ojai with?
I went to Ojai with a friend of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's super detailed.
My friend Heather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Heather.
That's like a friend of mine.
She's like, what's the story?
A ghost.
No, I went
No,
up
I
there
don't know if you were dating with someone.
No, I went up with a good friend of mine and it was like a last minute thing and it was so beautiful and I wish the Monarch thing was happening, but
painted ladies.
What did have the painted ladies. But the daylight savings time had happened.
Yeah.
And it really did. That's where it really did. There was a palpable shift, even though it was it was rainy and cloudy and stuff like that. But it was green Ojai just had all those fires. We've just had like a really staccato winter, right? With fires, rain, like
we had a
hell
weird
and brimstone.
We had a lot of weirdness going on this past year, seasonally speaking, and I think it's actually energetically
contentious.
And energetically, it's release. So I mean, okay, there's something called seasonal lag, and it's interesting because everything experiences it. So seasonal lag, in proper context, is referring to the fact that actually, for example, the months that we are closest to the sun are, I think, April, May, and June. But the hottest months generally in the Northern Hemisphere, the hottest months are May, June, July. So there's seasonal lag. So even though we're closer to the sun in April, it's not one of the warmer months. It takes a while for it to actually show up on this plane. And so that's how energy kind of flows anyway. And same thing for us. Like when we get a cold or we finally like are taken down by our overwork or something, we may have actually started to slow down, but it's too late because now the energy is expressing itself in the physical.
And you get that really great feeling when sometimes I'm getting a cold, like you're stressed and you're freaking out, and then all of a sudden you realize you're getting a cold, and you're like, all right. You're like, oh, it's a cold. I am going to hunker down. I have enjoyed a few colds. Deeply enjoyed bitching through the whole thing. Super bitching.
Sure.
Like,
but that's part of the fun.
I'm a wicked cold. But it's like, I've really dug in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm especially when
I usually feel guilty when I start to get sick.
I don't. I'm like, like everyone fuck off. I'm sick. Like this is happening. See all the tissues around me?
Like it's a coronation.
Yeah, see the pastrami sandwich half eaten on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening.
So we have seasonal lag.
Yes.
That's that's how we refer to it when we're talking about weather, but it's also that's just how we experience manifestation. So like we were saying, the weather across California and Southern California, but I think there was a lot of stuff going on. There were hurricanes and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's a little bit of lag from some pretty tough stuff that we went through last year and even just the previous months. Emotionally and mentally, there's been a lot of stuff going on. And so
I think across the country, a lot of people I'm sure a lot of people out there have been, from our thousands of listeners.
Thousands.
All of you out there, God is with you. But but there has been a pretty just dramatic weather pattern happening all year. And I just know the people that I know all across the country are like dealing with stuff, roofs caving in, cars, all this stuff. And even in California, we had lots of big fires, and then we had some dramatic weather. You know, this rain. Then it always happens like this. We had all these fires, and then the rain all comes, and it's all loosened, and the trees are all burnt, and boom, we have mudslides.
Sludge, yeah.
And we lose our $1 million homes right by the ocean.
Yes, and we're very upset about it. Not this too.
I lost my beautiful beach house in Malibu.
Yeah.
That I've never had.
Yeah.
I lost it over and over again every morning when I wake up.
And I should say that it's not that I think that the misconception, a kind of like really ignorant way to look at it, a Rush Limbaugh way to look at it, is that it's some kind of punishment or karmic debt, or that it's targeted. So like poor Santa Barbara area, that they had just such a shitstorm this past. They had the fires and they had the floods and they had a lot of stuff. It's not because Santa Barbara is up to no good.
I suddenly feel like we should be in a donut shop because we really are talking about the weather. Like I should be like,
hey,
Trish.
We're talking about energy.
Did you see the new car wash opened up down by the Jiffy Lube?
We're talking about energy.
No, I know.
And okay, well, anyway, so Aidan and I were complaining like little babies about the rain and the cold a couple of weeks ago.
Kind of cut into our usually pretty outdoorsy lifestyle.
It did, yes, but it was just weird too, and it's weird for us. But then it actually manifested something quite amazing that we in Southern California, I think pretty much, I don't know if it's probably all of Southern California, because we're going from Mexico to Oregon, have been experiencing. And so since we had all of those rains, a huge deluge of rain, it provoked a major wildflower bloom. And that major wildflower bloom brought all of these butterflies. And we've actually had a dramatic shortage of butterflies, the monarch and the painted ladies.
Pictures. I took some good pictures yesterday.
Of the butterflies?
Yeah. Have you seen where's the parade of them? It was like a Rose Bowl parade of butterflies yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday of this week. And so it's like you're walking along and you're just like flooded with, and they're all going along one path together. They're going from what are they going from? Southeast to northwest, because they're basically going from Mexico to Oregon, a little bit more west. But in a lot of areas, I think with the wind current, it looked like it was due east to west to me. Like when I would be standing there and they're just going by me, and I was like, the sun is there, and they're directly moving along the path of the sun. And again, probably just because the air current. And
I could, because I'm over by the hills, over in Glendale. They were going super north, and for me, just
they
dead
were?
on. It was just, they were coming up over the southern hills and heading north, and it was just crystal clear that they were going north.
So for me, I actually wrote a blog about this. If you guys want to go check out my blog, it's triciacarcharm.com, and you'll find it. It's all about spirit messaging because you get spirit message specifically for you, even though it is a global event. It's still, you're aligned with it, with your energy, and there is specific tailored information for you to be able to tune you to unity, because that's, nature is... And, butterflies, for example, are more tuned to ecosystem than we are. We're the idiots that have to be reminded, yo, you're not the only one who lives there.
I was at the bar last night, and
meaning at work.
At work, I work in bars, and somebody was like, "Oh, everybody's probably thinking." A funny girl, this girl that works with me, is a comedian, Julie, and she was like, "Oh,
she
everybody
should come on the show.
She's super funny.
Bring her
we
on.
should have her on.
Yeah."
We
could use some humor.
It
on
would
the
be
show.
vastly inappropriate.
All right.
But she's like, oh, everybody just thinks that those butterflies represent their grandmother, and they're all flying by.
But they are specifically for those people.
She's like, their vaginas just open up like giant.
Why? Whose vagina?
They're like, whoa, it's my grandmother.
Why would you get horny for your grandmother?
Your vagina just opens up with glee.
Oh, okay. But it's interesting. That's literally what I'm addressing, is what Julia is bitching about.
Yeah.
And because my trainer, Alex Bedria, by the way, my trainer today, he was saying I was like, did you see the butterflies? And he's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I just came out of an audition yesterday, and he hadn't seen them yet. Yeah. Came out of an audition for a pilot, so he's like super excited. It went really well, and he walks out, and he was on one of the studio lots, and he said, and it's so dense. There's so many of them, and they're going in such a decided path. He was like, I thought that maybe there was a butterfly wrangler testing them out or something for some kind of...
For a studio thing. In Hollywood, that's how we would be like, this must be a shoot.
Yeah, exactly. I must have walked into some kind of shoot, and then everybody was stopping and just, enjoying them. And he said, for me, because his father has passed, he said, I took it as a sign from my dad that, as an encouragement for what just happened in my audition. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I had a really, when we were talking about this, I think everybody could, and we were talking about throughout the seasons how I was talking about grounding. I've been really struggling with staying grounded during this daylight savings, and my schedule's all over the place, and trying to stay grounded. And I think that that's a shared communal moment that everyone kind of feels grounded. They're like, there's stuff happening bigger than me.
Yes.
Even big weather patterns.
Oh, it brings you present, at least. Well,
yes.
With the butterflies,
Super
everybody's
present.
stopping and just experiencing them and orienting to their moment, which for Alex was my father's presence. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, Julie's complaining about it. It's everybody's grandmother, but maybe it is.
Julie, if you know her, she complains about everything.
Yeah.
But she's funny as hell, and I love good gripers. I feel like,
talk about, actually, if you don't mind, explain what grounding is to you, because some people, because some people, if they're first kind of, like, what does that mean? What is grounding to you? What does it feel like? When do you need it?
It's funny
because How do you do it?
Yeah, I've just only in the last few years have I even considered what that means and what grounding means, and now I get real sort of chakra-ish about it, and I don't mind saying that. Like I have to
come out of the broom closet.
I have to come out of the enlightened closet, and so I can tell. I spend most of my time up here above, and I'm not thinking, and you're grinding along, like, let's say through the holidays, and then like the beginning of the year and stuff like that, and then I just realize that I am not present. And little things start to happen, like I can't find something, and I'm starting to see those signals, and I'm better at it now. Like I get parking tickets, I miss a phone call, and it's not even just I'm busy and I'm scattered. I'm also
out of sync. You're just out of sync.
Yeah, and I'm also forgetting, like walking away from a conversation with a friend and forget and not and then processing and realizing something they said or something my kid said, my daughter said to me, that I'm like, I didn't even clock that, And that's the stuff I don't want to miss. I don't give a shit about a parking ticket, although I do. But it's those things happen in a row, and I'm like, I'm all over the place. And it generally happens seasonally for me. I grew up in Boston. I grew up in a really seasonal area, it just like reminded me when the butterflies happened, how ungrounded. What I saw was like, I'm all over the place right now. Like,
That was your message from the butterflies?
yeah.
That's interesting.
And it was like, I need to just like sit down and think. And I sat down and watched them, and I had not been present probably for 3 days. You know, I was just like, zing, 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 zing. And I was like, I just watched them. And then my kid, who's 23, came over and sat down and watched them with me.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that was it right there. I mean, like, I got like that moment for 10 minutes while we were like, wait, what's happening? And he's looking it up and all the things. But for me, getting grounded definitely means that I do a little meditation. But touchstone moments, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like, you know, we talked about, I feel like the holidays are centrally located in the middle of transitions in you know, Easter, Christmas, you know, like.
Well, Christmas is right by the winter solstice, Christmas and all of the winter
they all
holidays.
just duplicated
the winter
pagan
solstice.
holidays.
And actually, the winter solstice, what that is the shortest day of the year breaking to the light coming back. And again, even though it happens December 21st in the northern hemisphere, that's when it's the coldest.
Yeah.
It's starting to be the coldest. It's actually, you know, the more, I don't know, like Yule and everything is celebrating the light returning, even though it technically is still going to, because of the seasonal lag, be dark for a bit or cold. It is when it actually starts to shift. And you can feel the energy shift.
Yeah.
Even though the manifestation hasn't shifted
spring
yet.
is my, first of all, I'm an April 2nd baby.
Yeah.
Right? So it's spring. April for me is awesome. I love Easter. I love Easter candy.
My
I
birthday
like
is Sunday, you know that?
Wait, what? Yes, I did know that.
St.
right?
Patrick's Day. It's
Yeah.
easy because my name's Patricia.
My grandmother's birthday is that too. Yeah.
That's weird. You know, my mother-in-law's birthday is St. Patrick's Day too. My mother-in-law and I have the same birthday. Is that weird or what?
Wow.
That's
That is
super weird.
for Brian,
I
right?
know.
Wow.
And it's not edible.
They don't
but
have to do a lot of math on that.
I know.
Let's face it.
Well, okay, so here's how we
Does
met.
he make you wear an apron?
Ew. So we actually met at a nightclub, and and he like, you
With
know,
his mom?
No. we met out dancing, and he approaches me and he's like, "How old are you?" And
So
I was
funny because you probably never went to a nightclub again.
no, or before. Exactly, you're so right. It's
You
so
two
funny you
met
know
at a
me so well.
nightclub.
Neither had he.
They're such
That was
not
the.
nightclub
It was so
people.
weird. It was the one year that both of us were kind of going out to nightclubs, and
I ran nightclubs and I never saw Tricia in them.
no, it was. Here's the weird thing, Aidan. It's even weirder than that. So I lived in Montrose, which is right over there in Glendale.
Super not cool.
And yeah, exactly. And he lived in Westlake Village.
Did you go to a Montrose nightclub?
No, I actually ran a Montrose nightclub. It was a nightclub, a Montrose bar. I was a manager of a Montrose bar.
There's no nightclubs in Montrose.
I know. So
I ran that VFW hall.
I ran. Right. I
Elks.
ran a bar. It was the coolest bar in Montrose in 2004. And
Did I know this?
yeah, I don't think you do. That's what I'm telling you. So you'll love this story. This is crazy though.
So you meet
synchronicity.
I know the story about you meeting in a nightclub, right?
No, I don't know if you do. So be quiet and listen. So
You're wasted. Let's start
but
with
you know,
that.
okay, let me tell you. Montrose and Westlake Village is where he lived, which is also not cool. It's super not cool.
At all.
But they're about 40 miles
Especially
apart.
because you guys were young. What were you doing
We
in
were
those
30.
retirement communities?
We're 30.
Who lives
I live in
there?
Toluca Lake now. Like that's
Yeah,
hopping.
now you're not 30.
That's true. So we lived, and it was 40 miles apart. I managed this bar. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. Here's the other thing that's awesome about this. This was like the end of me trying to be a certain brand of Christianity again. And the brand was Seventh-day Adventist.
I love all this.
And the set
How do
as
you get in a nightclub as the Seventh-day Adventist?
it was hard because I was trying to keep Sabbath. That's when I broke it. I was like, this is not making any sense. So keeping Sabbath means that you don't work from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. And that's really hard when you're a general manager of a bar.
Okay.
But
Fact.
I was working it out. Anyway, so anyway,
And
I
what
basically
an unfun bar manager.
Bar manager, I'm keeping
Montrose,
Sabbath.
Seventh-day Adventist.
keeping Sabbath.
That's our script right there. We need to write it. I just want to see you at like your pre-shift. Or did you drop Jesus in that?
No. I wasn't evangelical at that time.
Okay.
It was just personal. So anyway,
It was just an us thing.
it was just Jesus and me. So I broke up with Jesus for Brian. But no. So anyway.
Wait,
No, I
how
didn't.
do you make the jump from the Seventh-day Adventist situation to hooking up with the dude in a nightclub?
Well, A, we
was
didn't hook up. B,
Oh, that's my next question.
we didn't have sex. I'm a slow grower, no matter what. But again, it wasn't. It was.
Grower.
It
That's not
takes
the
me whatever. It takes me 3 weeks before I'm comfortable like, before I'm desensitized enough or know someone enough that I'm
Before
comfortable.
you go back and get your stuff.
And then I'm done. Yeah, that's what you like. That's when you figure out when.
It takes me about 3 weeks to go back and get my
get
shit.
your shit. Yeah. No, it was literally
Did I leave a
date for 3
puppy
weeks.
here?
A child, maybe.
Is there a kid?
Anyway, the point is, it was totally personal. And it was like, I was still more broadly, I was studying like Deepak Chopra and everything too, but I liked
So
the idea of
how does this
keeping.
conversation go down at the club? I want to hear the
you're
banter.
I like the idea of keeping Sabbath, so that's why I was trying it for a while. And so that's why I was doing it.
I
Anyway,
like that you gave it a whirl.
I gave it a whirl.
Right.
All right. So anyway, I had broken Sabbath by the time I met Brian, but the part when I had that job, my only night off was Friday because I was keeping Sabbath, and even after I broke it, I still had Fridays off because of everybody else that everything else that was working out there. All right. So one of my friends there, who was one of my cocktail servers, loved to go dancing, would drag me out, kicking and screaming, forcing me to put on high heels to go dancing. This was the only year of my life that I ever went out to clubs. I'd put in my little earplugs and we would go dancing. All of these details are important.
Earplugs.
And so,
Nerd.
Anyway, it was my last night working at that bar, and she drugged me out to a nightclub in Agora Hills, which is right next door to Westlake Village.
Yes.
And that was actually, we went there frequently. That was the place that we would go, even though it's 40 miles away.
I love that nightclub.
Low competition. You know what I'm talking about? Canyon Club.
No.
The Canyon Club. And so it was the last night I was working there. She's like, come on, we can close early. We jetted out there, got there by like 11. And that's when I met Brian. I had a cute haircut. He approached me. Donna's like, hey, that cute boy is staring at you. And I'm like, obviously I know, I'm ignoring him. Like, that's my move. That's how I do it. And so he approaches me. He says, I like your hair. It's really cute. And I said, thanks. And he said, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. How old are you? He asked me, because at 30, I looked 19.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
And he wanted to make sure he wasn't skeeving, because he wasn't interested in even talking to like a young
teenager.
idiot. Yeah.
Was it an 18 and over club or something?
No, just generally. I looked really young. He was 30, and he probably wasn't interested in even spending time with a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
That's basically what he was saying. But he was just curious. But
right.
That was kind of standard. It's kind of standard to ask how old you are after your name.
Yeah.
I think in clubs, right? I don't know. Maybe
No.
not. All right. Well, that's what he did. And I said, oh, I'm 30. I just
Unless you're
turned
the
30.
bartender.
I said, I just turned 30. And he's like, nuh-uh, doing that. But he wasn't just stroking my ego. I really did look young. And I had my ID in my pocket, and I handed it to him. And he was like, oh, my God. And I was like, yeah, I told you I'm 30. And he's like, no, that's my mom's birthday. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And my friend Donna's like there, kind of like not paying attention. And then I look up at him and I go, are you wearing earplugs? And he's like, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Marriage met in heaven.
And I turned to Donna and was like, Donna, he's wearing earplugs. And she goes, oh, God. All right, fine. I'll let you talk to him, because she didn't want to be ditched.
And how about poor Donna, who has to hang out with you with earplugs? You can't hear her either, right?
No, you can hear better with earplugs in clubs and loud music. That's why I have good hearing. And I was always, at bartending, I always wear earplugs, because you can hear the voice, you can hear the mid-range better than the highs.
Yeah, I
and the
wore
lows.
them occasionally in clubs.
Yeah.
Especially music venues.
Yeah. Well, actually,
did
people's voices talking. So
Yeah.
that's how we met.
I love that.
Isn't that?
I
Oh,
don't
no,
know if I
actually.
knew that.
No, but here's actually the part,
The
the reason I
Agora
was telling
Hills
you.
part cracks me up.
This is why I was telling you about where we each lived and where we were going to nightclubs. So for some reason, Donna was dragging me out to the Canyon Club. Brian, for that 1 year of his life, was going to nightclubs with his friend who was dragging him out, because he was just trying to not feel so shy or whatever. He just wanted to feel a little smoother and just would chat with people. So his friend, who he was going out with, it's an old college friend, went to high school right there in Montrose. And so when he would come into town to visit his parents, he would go to my bar on Friday nights.
Get out of town.
So for months, he had been going to my bar, and we never met because it was the night that I had off. The very last night that I worked at that bar, Donna took me to his neck of the woods, and that's when we met. The universe is like, you fucking idiots. How are you going to meet each other? You with
Wow.
your stupid Sabbath thing. And
Yeah.
Isn't that
With your
crazy?
stupid Sabbath thing. The two of you shut-ins. That was really slowing down the meetup.
We actually met. It's so crazy. We met at a nightclub. Yeah, we're shut-ins.
It is the weirdest thing ever.
It's
Totally.
weird. I love that you totally got that. You know me well enough to be like, you met at a nightclub?
Yeah.
Like the
I
one
was
time
like
you
first
went?
and last time she ever set foot in one. And
That she wasn't paid minimum wage to be.
And I lived in nightclubs. I mean, it's weird because I didn't go to. I get to take that back. I guess I did always go to a lot. And I always worked in them.
Just for social?
Yeah, I love nightclubs. When I was a kid, especially in my 20s.
Loud.
Douche, 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 douche.
Yeah, douche, exactly. No, it's
Yes,
loud.
yes. But I even went after. We used to go when I was married too. We used to go to clubs. I used to like to dance
Why?
and stuff.
Oh, I like to dance though. That's
Yeah,
true.
and that whole energy and thing. And then when I ran them, they were fun. And I bartended in them
exhausting.
for years.
I liked. That's how Donna
mind
got
it.
me out there because I do like to dance, and so then
I like the straightforward douchiness of them too. There's no, there's no game playing. All bars are douchey. Just some people, especially nowadays, like the hipster, like cocktail bars.
Yeah.
Everyone's affecting a real, like, sort of authentic moment.
Oh, should we tell people to call in? 323-524-2599. 323-524-2599.
The organic, the Agora Hills situation.
The organic.
The
What are you talking
organic
about?
Agora Hills.
What are you talking about?
Oh, he did. He's got the
Oh,
club.
yeah,
he's
the
got candy
Spasmatics.
club.
So-
yeah, let's see a picture. Let's see a nightclub. Ooh, let's see a nightclub picture of Hollywood. Let's see a douchey Hollywood picture. In fact, I'll probably be in it. Let's see a Hollywood picture of me in a nightclub.
So we
I
actually
want to see that.
Well, and the
Sometimes
reason we
it's
were
nice
going
to
there,
revisit that guy.
there was a 70s tribute band playing. So it was like, they would do all 70s covers.
Yeah.
And
Have
so
you
that's
ever
pretty fun.
seen the '80s cover band?
That's Spasmatics. That's what he's putting up right now.
That's who was out. That's who you saw that night.
No, the Spasmatics actually, I was going, I can't remember the name of the band, and then the Spasmatics took over for them, but it was not while I was going there. I never went to a nightclub again after
Oh
meeting
yeah, there
Brian.
we go on the bar. That guy. There's a nightclubby guy, but that was actually a douchey little cocktail bar. Yeah, boom. There you go. That
looks like
living.
meat.
That's
That looks like when you-
1886, I think.
Oh, it's 86.
Yeah, who knows? I was always on top of a bar.
Yeah.
Fact.
I've been on top of bars too.
With me, there's a picture of you
Even
and me
before I
on
met
top
you.
of a bar,
Even
and you
before I
look
met
like
you.
you're more wasted than me in that picture.
And I wasn't.
I know. I saw some picture of me and her with your.
No,
I see
I'm
it
just
frequently.
I'm just
You look
excitable.
trashed in that picture.
I'm not. I'm just
You
excitable.
look like completely out of your mind, and I'm like, I don't remember her being that drunk.
I wasn't. I'm not.
You're singing to beat the band in that shot.
Well, look how cute I am there.
Right?
So I'm really tan. It was like after my honeymoon in Mexico. All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about so
So
grounding.
what do you
how-
do to ground yourself?
Oh.
So today I did it. I'll tell you this
Yeah,
much.
do
So
that.
that happened yesterday. In the last 2 days, I did a bunch of things. I cook. Hey, that grounds me.
Yeah, it is very grounding.
And-
Eating is as well.
Yes.
But actually cooking it and then eating it would be more effective because sometimes when we overeat, it's because we are unconsciously trying to ground
And I
ourselves.
think, you know what I realized yesterday? I think it's sensory more than thing. I cooked up sausage and pasta, and then I also made like a chili and all this stuff. But I think for me, that what's grounding is the smell of that food cooking.
Well, getting your hands working with the elements, working with
Because
the
I
earth.
didn't actually eat it, I had to run off to work. But I cooked,
Yeah.
and the sort of rhythm of that. And then today I did a big long meditation, and it felt really thing. But it was necessary. And every once in a while, I have to fight through this. And I know that I've been talking a lot to people because that the meditation groups that I go to about this time of year has been difficult to shut down the chatter and ground. And it's not just me and my life going on. I think that impending spring, like what's been happening, the time change or whatever, it took me a solid like 25 minutes to get to even like a blank stare kind of jam.
But in your meditation, do you do a specific visualization or something that is
Yes.
oriented to grounding? What do you
Yeah.
do?
I kind of walk through some doors.
Oh, nice.
I do some walking through doors, and then I go up some stairs. I have a pathway, sort
Okay.
of a thing. And then
Well, that gets you focused. That gets you
and
induced.
it's very specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
But it's the walking maybe because you're literally walking and that might get you grounded
yeah,
too.
yeah. So that's super helpful. I walk upstairs and watch them, and I heard it in a guided meditation thing. But then I created I needed it a lot, especially in recovery, in early recovery, when my mind was talking all the time.
Yeah.
And I was used to quieting that with substances, and so like this walkway thing is really helpful for me. And what's great about that is that in real life, if I can opt for the stairs, right, which I do at least twice a day, even one flight of stairs will take me to a calm, grounded
induces
place.
you. Yeah, you
So I
kind
have
of-
this little
yeah.
hypnosis thing.
Yeah.
And if if I'm going to a meeting or anything, if I take 4 flights of stairs, by the time I get to the top, I've gotten to this sort of like redirected.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I didn't mean that was unintentional.
Yeah, it just
But if I
starts
watch,
to
I
happen.
just look at the stairs. I don't think like, did I lock the car? Do I have the? I'm like, nope. Just walk these stairs. So if
That's
you create
great.
some kind of a pattern like that, it's very grounding.
For me, I I have a specific visualization in my meditation, and it's pretty common. It's the roots. It's growing roots from the tailbone and the soles of the feet
into the ground. Yeah.
And then I also, so that's like,
just
that's
heard
like
one of those
connecting
the
to
other day.
earth. And then I also have an etheric, like a magical energetic rope that shows up before me, and I allow that to get attached to the base of my tailbone, and then it goes
Done
down
that to me before.
it goes down into the core of the earth, and that actually connects you to the crystalline grid of the earth, which is the spiritual grid, the 5D expression of Mother Earth, of Gaia. And
Okay.
so that's a
I love
different
that
kind
name.
of. I do too.
I
It's
love the
beautiful.
name Gaia.
Yeah.
I knew the cutest little kid in Zane's, my oldest kid's grade, I think, or maybe younger. Ugh, she was such a little button. Little Gaia. I love babies.
He does. I think he's going to accidentally have some more.
I do love babies. I'm not having any more.
Just grandchildren.
Yes, that's next. for
Well,
me.
yeah, and they're all of
20
age.
years from now. Yeah, 20. I'm talking not now, but that's the next babies I will be having of my DNA.
So, so that, and then other than that, I will just go take off my shoes and just be on the ground. So I can do that, like you can do with your stairs. I could do that
How
visualization
about
anytime.
sex? Boom. Was that a grounder?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's definitely, it's kind of holistic because it activates all of your energy body if you're doing it right.
Yeah, I agree. And it's definitely, well, you get
You get
real
really
head.
astral too. You get
real
really
head.
astral too. So, but
Well,
you're
let's-
literally using the lower center.
What
so.
was interesting and what told me that I had gotten very aware from that thing is because from yesterday when I identified with the monarch thing, with the painted ladies, the butterfly thing happened and it made me feel very much a part of, which is always a grounding moment, you know, like, which is why I think church works for people or whatever.
Yeah.
I just was a part of something. And then today I told you that my avocado, there's a giant avocado tree outside our place. It's one of the reasons I got this new place, apartment.
You have to bring me some next time.
I know. Well, they're not in bloom yet because the butterflies pollinated the whole tree yesterday. And
There's no fruit on them right now?
No,
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
No, that doesn't happen until way later in the year, right? Like,
Oh, I thought they
end
may
of-
start fruiting now.
Some of them
you could
will
have
now because yesterday
early harvest.
the sun was out for
Yeah.
the first time in a long time. We had all this rain and all the closed buds were on the thing. It's not flowering at all. And when it does, I'm going to be like red-eyed and runny nose. But my tree looked freshly fucked today.
Yeah.
And I told you, it looked like
Because he's saying because all the butterflies were
the
in there.
butterflies were mauling it and they were coming over the hill and I was like, what are they really beeline
Post-coital
for our
blow.
house? And so we were sitting there with them all and all the bees were hitting it. And today I could feel like a little like whoosh, like springs here and my tree had definitely been marauded. And it looked super sexy. It was like I could feel it.
It was all expanded. And, yeah.
Which I guess I could just read it into anything. And spring is a very sexy, fucky time of
It
year.
is. It is
for
very
sure.
much.
It's
Yeah.
fucky. It's a fucky season.
I have a friend who has a garden, and she has these. I think they're like zucchini plants, and so the blooms, the way they work
I
is.
think it was a zucchini plant.
Yeah, no. But the way they work, she was like, so you can take this bloom. And then you can fuck it. And like she takes it and she pokes it into the other bloom because basically the pollen is, integrating or something like that. But she literally makes it hump, basically. She's like, but it works. She's like, and you can fuck it.
Yeah. Well, if only like it was all this was a metaphor in the last few days, especially because I'd done the Ojai trip. I remember really being sad for Ojai because it really burned back in the late fall. And it was before the Malibu fires and before even any of the stuff up north. Ojai got torched. And all during the Santa Barbara fires.
Yeah.
It started up there.
That all started happening
And that
together.
whole hood. And hundreds and I guess thousands of acres burned. And it's a beautiful country. It is supposed to burn. It's a burn corridor. It's supposed to burn and regrow.
But
and then
people
they
put
built
houses
up
there.
Yes, and there was never any water before that. They
Yeah.
put water up there, all that kind of stuff. I mean, not all the areas, but a lot of them. Anyway, what it tells, I mean, like yesterday and today, I just had this really nice, like, second gear click in when I was like, like, even personally, the things that have been going on with me and the kids and life and my family and where I'm at with relationships and work and stuff, it's like, like this, like, if only I could remember as these difficult times come that this is for a reason, that this is supposed to happen. I'm supposed to burn
And
this
that's
down.
what grounding does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, again, for someone who's never really thought of it, like, what's the point? Okay, we can first thing to recognize is that we are all really ungrounded by how our culture it functions. You know, we're very astral.
Yeah.
Anything
and we're
that's
all very.
that's ungrounding because it's an imaginal world. It's not a real world.
Right.
So, and the phone and the screens and just
if you've been busy on your
else.
phone, texting, and social media all day long,
Yeah.
you are not having a busy social life.
If you've been
FYI.
working on a Word document all day long, if you've been working in an Excel, that's imaginal. And
I can't tell you how many people I hear say, "I'm nuts. I'm super crazy. I'm super busy," and I'm like, "You're in your pajamas, and it's 3 p.m, and you have not left this coffee shop. There is nothing nuts happening,
and you forgot your shoes
whatsoever." Like 0 nuts is happening. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh no, I'm crazy this week. I don't know if I can squeeze it in." And I'm like, "Into your finger, because that's your whole world."
Yeah.
You don't get to say nuts.
Yeah.
You just own a device and you are touching all of the things all over the place, but you are not doing fuck all.
Yeah. I know. My cats actually really remind me of being ungrounded because they will come up. They literally,
too.
yeah, my cats will come up. I have many pictures of it where my cat is either his hand or his whole body is across my hand while it's still on the computer. And he's just like, stop it.
Cut it out.
Yeah, cut it out, idiot.
They must think we're bananas.
I know. Can you imagine how they must just think, like, why does she keep looking into that light box? And they can feel what's going on in our minds about it. And they're just like, why is she doing that when there's a window? Like, and that's real shit. And it feels better.
Well, that's what what we were talking about today, too. And I want to touch on this because I know that when I was, before this rendition of myself, I remember I would hear people like us talking and things, and I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's why I'm asking, like, specifically, what does grounding mean?
That
how does it help you?
Thing, I mean,
helps you to get embodied.
Economy of time, economy of money. Like, you can talk about going up to Ojai and meditating for the weekend, but not everybody has that opportunity. You can talk about going to, like, a meditation center or all the things that we have the luxury, that a lot of people have the luxury of looking into because we have these devices too. You can look into it. But practically, also, if you have a job, kids, a relationship, things happening, the little, what I call 30-second, the little stealth health moments where you can find grounding, and you don't have 2 hours to meditate. You don't have 2 minutes to meditate.
And I actually, speaking of economy, I want to say that grounding and being embodied is actually, like you're saying, you're sitting in the cafe, the coffee shop with the bullshit, and that's actually procrastination, and it's actually spinning and it's looping. But being grounded and connected to the earth is actually how we create things. It's by engaging with the elements, even though money is really an imagination, an imaginal energy as well. But still, in order for us to actually manifest things, to have money, to have time, we have to be to have appropriate time. We have to be connected to presence. To be able to create things in our life, money or whatever else, we have to be connected with the earth, because that's how we actually create things.
Right.
We can't create things even though that's how our society and a lot of our jobs are set up, is that we just stay on the computer all day and that's how we getting shit done. But it's really taking that and then balancing it with actually being connected to the earth that manifests things. Otherwise, we just spin in some bullshit.
Right? No, for sure.
So it is economical to do it.
That's it. Economy is economy.
But
or
you're
the
talking
ecology
about
of it.
Literally, like, if you have the money, you don't have to spend money.
It's not about money, because it is about money, but it's not. I mean, like, I just know that for a lot of years, my excuse was I did not have the time or the money to do the things that I needed to do, the resources to get to a grounded place, and I wasted so much money and time not being grounded. And I know now, and for me, it was a real easy fix. Like, I gave up a whole bunch of cocaine and vodka, and turns out I found some some resources. But I also still give up. Like, what's funny is that the thing that I'll be like, I'm slammed today. I can't do anything, to get myself aligned. I can't I don't have time for that today. I'm too nuts. But I have like 3 or 4 luxurious moments planned.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to get to enjoy. So I have 2 or 3, like maybe lunch with a friend or something like that. Something that I could not do. And what I do now is I realize that I'm super, because I had some fun things to do yesterday and today. I'm like, how about I skip that? Because that's no longer going to be cool. So me going on a little, shopping situation, like I need some shoes or whatever, skip that and get grounded. I'm going to buy something sucky because I'm not in a good headspace. My intuition's bad. Thanks. So I'm going to get overcharged for something I never wear. And that's always the way. Don't shop when you're not centered. You fail. For sure. especially for big things. But anything, like the good things that I really love forever were things where I was just in a great mood and I was like, those are perfect. Go shopping in a shitty mood and you have a bunch of crap that never gets worn.
Yeah, it's like going shopping when you're hungry.
Or a plate.
Like 7
just like,
potato chips.
10 years later, you're like, I hate that fucking plate. I was in I was at the mall with my mother and I bought that fucking plate. I don't know why we still have it. It cost me $30. I got overcharged. You do that? Do you keep things that you paid too much money for too long?
Well, I don't buy that much shit. Well, no, I guess yeah. It's not usually decor stuff. I don't buy too much decor.
Or you have like a candle that sucks, that doesn't smell great, but you're gonna burn it anyway because it cost you $20.
Well, people mostly give me that. Like that's the kind of stuff like someone's given it to me, and I'm like, I don't know how to throw this away.
So you use it.
Yeah, I have a nice one sitting on my table, and I actually am really touchy about candles. Like it's too much; it suffocates me. My mother I got a birthday gift for my mother in the mail today.
Oh,
yeah, it's
your
nice.
birthday's Sunday.
Sunday.
So you want to come to
to your? We're not going to talk about it.
To the place that will not be named.
Shall not be named.
No.
That may or may not have. He's like, I've got 2 more weeks there.
Cut your butt. Away.
I'm going to talk smack about his job. That's what
Later.
I do. Well, I just have to let them in on the joke. I'm not going to tell them the whole joke, but I'm bagging on where he works.
True story. Hey, do you want me to bag on yours?
Well, anyway, so
neither of us are authorized to discuss either.
No, but I was going to say my mother. So
we
my
work
mother
for the CIA.
My mother sent me a birthday present today, and it's a little like kind of like basket, like you would like a fruit basket, but it's made of wire.
Okay.
And we have a phone call.
Because it's Easter. Do you get Easter themed gifts?
Oh, I used to when I was a
did
kid.
too.
But it has
cake.
a kitty face on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so easy to shop for. 'Cause
No,
you're a cat lady.
No.
I'll always get you like a cat rock.
I love you, Mama.
Let's
She's
do
not
the
going to
calling.
listen. No. Here's the thing. I like cats. I don't like cat things.
Oh, I'm going to get you a cat doormat.
No. Okay.
That
Let's do the
says
calling.
meow.
Mug is the only thing. Oh, they say hung up?
They're sick of us. They're sick of us. It says meowcom.
That's stupid.
First of all, I love the cat analogy. Did we really lose the caller because we had to finish that story? Damn it.
Well, no, they were only on for like 30 seconds, right? Yeah.
Right?
Maybe the call dropped.
Yeah. Or maybe they finished.
Ew.
They
Gross.
finished before we got
They just
on.
needed to hear
What
Aidan
if we
say meow.
What if we got next? I would love it if we
He
crossed
has
wires.
very specific fetish. I need to hear Aidan say meow.
Meow. Feel free to call in if you want to just use this as a sex line.
No.
No, we can't do that.
You can.
I used to do
Kurt's
this.
like,
I used to
no.
always want to do it, and I wish this is my move. Here's how you get grounded. And next time you get, like a collection agency calls you or a sales rep, just dive right into filthy conversation. Be like, I'm so glad you called. I'm rock hard right now.
Ew.
Yeah, just and like, and they'd just be like, where
I'm
would they
a
go with
woman, I
that?
can't.
No, you could just be like, I'm soaking wet. I totally
Ew, no,
get-
but I know I can say the thing that's relative to my body.
Yes.
I mean that if if that's a man on the other line, he's just going to be super into it. He's not going to be like, oh, heaven to Betsy.
Sexist, totally sexist. He might
It's
be
true.
super offended.
That's why you went gay.
He might be super. Oh, God, somebody said that to me. He
For more opportunity.
He might be. Well, that's why I stay switch hit because then whoever said anything on the phone, I'd be in.
Yeah, exactly.
I would, even if it was like clearly an old lady. I'd be like, all right, let's do this.
Switch hit.
What you got going on?
Would you call yourself fluid?
Yeah.
Or would you call yourself like? I
Fluid
think
like a
labels. Labels are dumb anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
But
it's funny that all that speaks. It's interesting in this time when everybody's talking about like labels and there's all. And I'm not even hip to all of them.
Well, and people make up their own, especially as it's concerning
But
gender
when it's
identity.
your situation and you something you've always sort of known, I didn't ever feel like I just assume everyone else is not selling. Like I just assume everyone is, and I know that that's true for a lot of people.
What do you mean, not
I don't.
selling?
That just that everybody's into everybody all the time.
That's what
I
you
always
assume.
was. Yeah, I just am like, oh, okay, you don't have to talk about it, but I know you want to fuck me. That's fine.
That's just So it's not really again.
And I have a solid self-esteem.
Your sexuality is
So
just.
I'm 100% convinced.
You're
that-
just an Aidan sexual.
Yeah. What?
Oh, we talked
It's a
about
personal thing. Why is it? That's what
You've
cracks me up is that people
you're
are
into
so
people who are
interested-
into you. That's the thing. Like,
Yes.
like this is why you would never have been a sexual
A predator. I've said
predator.
that before.
Yeah, is because
If somebody was not into me, like even a hooker has to fake it really solid. if somebody wasn't into me, I'd be like, next. I'm not into this.
You're into the person's reflection.
Well,
Your reflection in their eyes.
Yeah, and I guess you have to be a freak, and I get why what the thing is, but the attraction is the attraction.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
If I was like somebody was like that would just not
Boner shrinker. Yeah.
Completely. Or if they were like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I suppose if I was super blackout, I would just be able to like let them not be thrilled with it, but not rape.
But not rape.
That's where I go.
Everyone.
That's
not
where
rape.
Rape's not okay.
No, it's not.
I forget when
So
all
you
that
learn
stuff was
here.
happening with me too.
You
My
learn.
sister called me and she was just like, "It was just one thing. It's just one thing I pass along to my sons." And they're saying, "It's just rape's not okay."
When the
Just don't rape.
When Me Too and all of the sexual assault
Yeah.
cases were coming out.
I'm gonna tell a story that my sister told me the other day that I loved.
We
It
have
was so
5
great.
minutes, just so you know.
She was like, my kid was going on a date and I didn't know what to. Or she was going out to a party and the thing, and she's super buttoned up, and so is her kid. And she's like, just don't put your wiener in any girl's face.
Oh.
Because they're in DC and there was all that huge thing about the school thing, like all the just stuff coming out about everybody assaulting.
Wait, how old
everybody.
is the kid? How old is the son?
He must be 14.
Okay.
Own age.
And he doesn't want to hear "put your wiener" from his mother ever.
I don't know if she even said wiener. I know. We
Ever.
already talked about this last week. So that was her. She's like, it was in a hurry and I just had to get to the point right away. She's like, just don't put your wiener in any girl's faces that don't want it. And I was like, what? And then she was like, I don't know. It was partly a news story and partly and he was like getting out of the car to go to a party. He was probably like walking in like, what the fuck? Don't put your wiener in any girl's face. But it's a rule to live by. Well done.
It's a good rule to
Fair
live
enough.
by. But so did you have sex talks with your kids, or did it just kind of whatever? They figured it out, or did their mom?
Less. It's sad because it was less marked. It was
Like
less
not planned.
It was less like a moment. I had a real. What's funny? I had a real cliche I must have been like 1980. But a real like conversation with my dad. We went to breakfast at Friendly's, and my dad and I had a paper route, and he drove me around in the morning, and he had like I was like a real little small town like Boston thing, and he broke out the sex talk. Like my mom probably said, you need to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it was real like birds and bees.
So what did he say? When a man puts his penis in a
not
woman's
the thing, because
vagina?
I was in sex ed. He was like, you know what all that is, but it was like the respect women conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
things can get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But plus, my parents were teenage parents, so they were brutally afraid of us knocking somebody up. In my case, and my sister's getting knocked up. So there was a constant prophylactic conversation happening in my house.
My mom was a grandmother.
Constant.
My mother was a grandmother at 33.
Yeah, my grandmother was 36.
Wow. Yeah.
18 and 18. My dad was 17, and my grandmother was 18.
Yeah.
She was 36 when she was a grandmother.
Yeah.
3 times by 40. I was
Wow.
4. Because me and my cousin,
That's crazy.
she was by 40. She had 4 grandchildren.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Right?
Yeah.
40.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
is
because
she-
I was born by then.
Has she been a great grandmother? How old was she? Was she a great grandmother? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
she was definitely great. Both my grandmothers. were
often
great
the next
grandmothers.
generation, if it's done that twice, then it starts to slow down.
Not
Like
with
my
my
mother,
family.
my mother didn't become a great grandmother until this year, because my eldest niece and nephew, they haven't had any children. My eldest niece is like 39, and she's like, I'm not having any kids. And so she's not having, so she just became a great grandmother this year, and she's like 72 or something like that. So it's
She
kind of
probably became a great grandmother with my sister Patty's first kid. So like she would have been, I don't know how old she would have been. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we paced it out a little bit longer.
paced it after that.
Yeah,
The
I didn't have
grandkids
Zane
and
until
paced
I
it.
was 26 or 7.
Yeah.
And the same with my sisters were like in their mid-20s and
Right.
mid-30s, I think. So yeah, we didn't like jump right back on that. But believe me, that was because my parents constantly like mantraed.
Well, my mom
how
did
we
that
had ruined their lives.
after my eldest sister got pregnant. Then she started like my
How
next
old was she? How old was you? Were an aunt when you were like 2, right?
6. Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
because
That's country.
my eldest sister's 10 years older than me. So she had her daughter like just shy of 16. My mom was, I think, 17 or just shy of 17 when she had my sister. And so
Kids
after
ground you.
that one,
Having kids grounds you.
well, yeah.
grounds you to your house, chained to the floor with nothing good to do for like 10 years.
I think we're basically out of time.
Yeah.
I want to remind y'all that we actually do broadcast this live. We are Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific. So you can broadcast, you can join us live while we broadcast. You can call in and you can hang up promptly as soon as Aidan says the trigger word that makes you come, I guess. Right? That's what happened. I was trying to decide if I want to say that word.
Don't make those kind of promises. That would be $3.99 a minute.
But you can join us live. Watch it on Facebook. You find our YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. But we are live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific. Follow us, comment, like, share, review, and all of that. And we will be back next week, probably with a really hot guest. We love you guys. See you next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you.